The new S-Class, the new luxury, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
Datin Seri Rosmah Mansor has testified that she would not need to resort to using an aide to collect a bribe, as her husband was PM at that time. She vehemently denied asking her former aide, Datuk Rizal Mansor, to negotiate a cut for a solar hybrid project, which is at the heart of her current graft trial. In her own words, she says that if she wanted to, why would she have to go through Rizal, since she has a husband who sleeps with her and that she could have put it to him. However, Rosmah added that it would be entirely up to her husband, Datuk Sri Najib Razak, whether he would want to agree to it. Rosmah also said that Najib had cautioned her against meeting contractors who may have approached her to get access to him for projects. She also said that she told contractors who approached her to discuss it directly with Najib, adding that she didn't want to cause friction in her 35-year marriage, as he would not tolerate nonsense. Responding to a question by her counsel, Dato' Akberdin Abdul Kadir, Rosmah accused Rizal, former Education Minister Datuk Sri Mahathir Khalid, and former MOE Secretaries General Tan Sri Dr. Madina Muhammad and Datuk Sri Alias Ahmad of implicating her to hide their own deficiencies and to avoid action being taken against them. Rosmah also testified that Rizal had abused her name to seek perks, to contest for the UMNO Youth Chief post behind her back, and called him incompetent. The hearing before Justice Muhammad Zaini Mazlan continues on January 10th, with Najib expected to take the stand. CTOS Digital has proposed to buy a 49% stake in fintech specialist Juris Technologies for 205.8 million ringgit cash. This would make it the group's largest ever acquisition since its inception. In a statement, the credit reporting agency said it has inked a conditional share sale and purchase agreement for the proposed acquisition from Natsoft Malaysia, the holding company controlled by Juris Tech's founders. According to CTOS Digital, Juris Tech is a leading Malaysia-based fintech company that specializes in enterprise-class software solutions for banks, financial institutions, insurance and telco companies. CTOS Digital Deputy Group CEO Eric Hamburger says that the acquisition would allow both companies to complement each other's strengths to bring a stronger end-to-end digital lending solution proposition to the market. For example, Hamburger says CTOS Digital aims to leverage Juris Tech's strong presence in Islamic banks and cooperatives, and that Juris Tech could assist in further increasing CTOS Digital's wallet share on other banks in Malaysia that use Juris Tech's product as a core solution. In return, Juris Tech will be able to tap into CTOS Digital's existing customer base of financial institutions, telco companies, fintech players, and a wide base of SMEs. The acquisition is expected to be completed by the first quarter of next year and is subject to shareholder approval. To fund the purchase, CTOS Digital plans to undertake a private placement of new shares representing up to 10% of its current 1.1 billion outstanding shares. Late buying interest in selected heavyweights led by Petronas Gas and Maxis lifted Bursa Malaysia to end Christmas Eve in positive territory, in line with the positive performance in regional markets. Benchmark FBM KLCI closed Friday at 1,516.45, a slight uptick compared with Thursday's close of 1,516.42. On the broader market, gainers outshone losers 439 to 323, while 435 counters were unchanged, 1,104 untraded and 15 others suspended. Turnover declined to 1.88 billion units, valued at 911.77 million, from Thursday's 1.99 billion units, worth 1.38 billion ringgit. Rakuten VP of Equity Research Tong Pak Leng says FBM KLCI ended flattish on a quiet trading day. Markets in Hong Kong and Singapore closed early for Christmas Eve. He told Bernama that on the domestic front, they believe that the benchmark index will possibly continue with its uptrend towards the year end amid a more vibrant regional performance. Offshore oil and gas services provider Chariman Petroleum has aborted plans to raise 29.9 million via a private placement of new shares. In a boss filing, Chariman says that after further deliberation, it has decided to not proceed with the private placement but did not elaborate. To recap, on May 27th this year, it had proposed to undertake a private placement of up to 46.78 million new shares, or 20% of the total existing issued shares, under which it would raise total gross proceeds of 29.9 million based on the indicative issue price of 64 cents per placement share. Chariman's stock closed at 65 cents today, which is 4 cents higher than what it was back in May. Chariman had planned to use the bulk of the proceeds on acquisition of vessels to reduce the group's reliance on chartering additional vessels from third-party operators for its marine services segment and for working capital. Stranded steel wires for pre-stressing concrete originating or exported from China are being imported into Malaysia at a price lower than the selling price in China, causing material injury to local players producing the same product. As such, the government has decided to impose definitive anti-dumping duties on the importation of the subject merchandise from China, which is equivalent to the amount of the dumping margins. According to Bernama, the International Trade and Industry Ministry says it has conducted and completed a detailed investigation concerning the merchandise in question. The investigation was done based on a petition filed by Southern PC Steel on behalf of the domestic producers in Malaysia. MITI says it will impose 9.47% anti-dumping duties on Silvery Dragon pre-stressed materials, 2.09% on Tianjin Dalu steel strand for pre-stressed, and 21.72% on other producers and exporters.
This program was brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.